It's good to have an outpost of the council right here down the street from the State Department. We get a lot of advice from the council, so this will mean I won't have this far to go to be told what we should be doing and how we should think about the future. To be told what we should be doing, to be told what we should be doing, to be told what we should be doing.
It was 1956. America stood at the pinnacle of its prestige, and the Rockefellers were the nation's first family, not only of wealth, but also of power.
If there was an establishment in America in the 50s, it was these Rockefeller brothers. These young men have taken their place as these absolutely unique members of a unique family. They're, in some sense, the very tip of this kind of the American century, the American experience, this optimism that buoys America in the post-war era.
They were, in many ways, at the center of business life, conservation life, environmental life, political life. They were in the middle of it. That's exactly where they wanted to be, and they loved it.
50 years after Ida Tarbell's scathing attack on John D. Rockefeller Sr. in McClure's magazine, Fortune magazine published a glowing profile of his grandchildren. Each brother was said to be worth upwards of $100 million. But more important than their wealth, Fortune argued, was the vast social empire which the brothers commanded. From their headquarters in Midtown Manhattan, their influence reached into every sphere.
Over the years, through the Rockefeller philanthropic enterprises, charities, support of science, their business enterprises, a web had developed which spread out and was interconnected with practically every center of power in our country and abroad as well. So this was the real strength and power of the family, going well beyond money alone.
Sometimes they would joke about it. They say, well, David gets Europe, Nelson is going to have Latin America, and John D. III gets Asia, and then they make some joke about what Winthrop got, which would be something like Arkansas. But nonetheless, there was something really behind the joke.
Today to talk about foreign policy and meeting industry challenges, which is really, I'm going to focus much more on talking about how the networks, the four networks represented here, treat foreign policy and what some of the future challenges are in the television world. I'm not going to give you a long introduction just by name. David Weston, the president of ABC News, Sean McManus, the president of CBS News, Steve Kappas, the president of NBC News, and Jonathan Klein, the president of CNN USA. A word about format. We're going to have a conversation here for 30 or 40 minutes. Then we're going to go out to the audience for questions for members. This is on the website of the council. It's on the record. And please, if you would, turn off your cell phones or any electronic device.
Every component of our nation's future, therefore our children's future, the future of this country, this generation, is contained within the arc of foreign policy. Trade, energy, national security, our relationships around the world, our competitive positions around the world.
And I think 9/11 taught us that we're in a globalized world, and issues in Yemen and Afghanistan and India and Pakistan affect people in Michigan and California.
So the American people have the opportunity, have the responsibility to know what's going on.
A lack of information and a lack of perspective is as much an enemy to good governance as any kind of partisan fights.
I think in a generation where we have so many blogs and so much quick information and little sound bites, even if you really are committed, it's very hard to know who to trust and where to go.
It's only by questioning your assumptions that you can really think through to the heart of whatever it is you're dealing with.
You can't fundamentally understand a problem unless you bring a very diverse range of perspectives to it.
And if you don't have venues and forums and processes by which this becomes possible, it's very difficult to move forward.
And you turn to places like the Council on Foreign Relations.
We're a venue, we're a publisher.
A research organization, a membership organization.
It's a community. It's a community of policy makers, of people who follow policy closely.
It's really a nonpartisan think tank. And the fellows represent a huge spectrum of political views.
The council tracks people from a variety of different perspectives and also from a variety of different backgrounds, from the business community, from NGOs, from labor.
To cultural leaders, religious scholars, academics.
And you connect them with the people in government, ideas in government.
The council provides also a prestigious forum for foreign leaders.
We're a magnet. People know they can come here, they trust the space.
They can be honest about what they think, and that's very difficult to achieve in the public forum.
And we don't always agree, but we learn as we listen.
It's a repository, it's a reference shelf on everything going on in the world.
Not just the critical issues, but anticipating what's coming.
CFR makes it very accessible. I think between the website, the podcasts, and Foreign Affairs, you can really absorb it.
Foreign Affairs is one of the best publications in the business.
The value of this is that it actually contributes to debates that shape outside of the United States about global issues.
CFR has maintained its relevance even as the world is changing dramatically.
I am always 6 to 9 months away from my next trip to Afghanistan and Iraq. And before I go, I rely on the resources of the council. I think it would be foolish not to.
I think the general public should think of the council as a tremendously valuable resource to decision makers all through our society, decision makers in public life, decision makers in private life, and now particularly with the website, to themselves.
We need societies like the Council on Foreign Relations, where public issues can be frankly, freely discussed and analyzed.
To educate Americans about what the issues are.
To engage the younger people and the next generation of foreign policy leaders.
And the more we're able to do that, the more informed people will be during debate, and I hope that the better the public policy that results from it will be.
So if we can become a place where people can get smarter, where ideas can get produced and debated and disseminated, then we have contributed to the quality of the debate, which in turn will affect the quality of the policy. People matter.
About the small people, and we care about the small people.
Ideas matter.
About the small people, and we care about the small people. About the small people, and we care about the small people. About the small people, and we care about the small people.
Oh, thank you very much, Richard, and I am delighted to be here in these new headquarters. I have been often to, I guess, the mothership in New York City, but it's good to have an outpost of the council right here down the street from the State Department. We get a lot of advice from the council, so this will mean I won't have this far to go to be told what we should be doing and how we should think about the future.
The CFR is packed with heavy hitters.
We get a lot of advice from the council, so this will mean I won't have this far to go to be told what we should be doing and how we should think about the future. To be told what we should be doing, to be told what we should be doing.
You're watching The Madness of a Lost Society. November 26, 2010. Black Friday revealed yet further evidence of the complete madness of the populace of our lost society.
In case you didn't hear, the leaders of China and Russia.
China and Russia said that they are renouncing the dollar.
The best way to think of it is a ticking time bomb. At some stage, the dollar will fall sharply.
Now, you might be saying, Neil, what the heck does this mean to me?
As the dollar loses status as the world's reserve currency, as mystery missiles launch just off our shores, as North and South Korea take the world to the brink of war, as the TSA violates all measure of liberty and constitutional rights, and as the U.S. military itself prepares for the coming total economic collapse and breakdown of civil order, this is what Americans care about. Wanton, lustful commercialism, acting like animals fighting over trinkets made by human beings for slave wages. As you watch this horrific video, do you think any of these people own a single ounce of physical precious metal? Any gold? Any silver? Do you think that even one of them understands what the Federal Reserve is, or that the Fed is spending them into oblivion in economic slavery? Do you think even one among them has made any preparations at all for the day when there is no food on grocery store shelves? And do you think the morally bankrupt executives at Target or Walmart even care? This is what we've become. A decadent, mindless culture who by virtue of this complete and willful ignorance are now officially complicit in the crimes being perpetrated against us. Do you think these people who behave like animals, literally trampling each other over $198 laptops and $10 toasters, will even pause for a moment to consider their actions before they riot and burn entire cities when the days of hyperinflation finally arrive? When the grocery stores are bare? When they are truly desperate? This, my friends, is what a dumbed-down, morally bankrupt, completely broken society looks like, and this is how it behaves. No outrage over the bankers raping them. No outrage over their gutted industry. No outrage over their plundered dollar. Just blind, wanton stupidity. Just bread and circuses. The elite are social Darwinists, and they believe what they can get away with is fair game as long as we allow it. This is social engineering, and they've done it to us by design. They've turned us into animals that they can corral. We are no longer citizens in a republic safeguarded by our elected representatives. We are consumers feeding at a corporate trough managed by officials.
Will you tell the American people to whom you lent $2.2 trillion of their dollars?
Hundreds and hundreds of banks, any bank or that has access to the U.S. Federal Reserve's discount.
Tell us who they are.
No.
If this is America, who will stop them? Our entire system is corrupt and needs to be dismantled and begun anew. But from what base? If what happened on Friday across America is any indication of the condition of the American populace, then our very foundations are built of sand. May God forgive us for what we've become and for what we've allowed to happen to our nation. And may those of us with the courage and sense to do it renounce this behavior and the monstrous marketing ploy that is Black Friday in its entirety. This, my friends, is not us. We are the Republic. We are the informed. We are the proactive ones. And it is our job to lift up those who are lost. And saving our Republic is a full-time job. May God bless the Republic. Thanks for watching The Madness of a Lost Society.
It's good to have an outpost of the council right here down the street from the State Department. We get a lot of advice from the council, so this will mean I won't have this far to go to be told what we should be doing and how we should think about the future. To be told what we should be doing, to be told what we should be doing, to be told what we should be doing.
About the small people, and we care about the small people.
The CFR is packed with heavy hitters.
Trust. Do you trust the government?